In 1998, Blade the Daywalker defeated Deacon Frost and stopped a plan that would have seen the Earth ruled by monsters.
Oh, your serious voice.
Yes, my serious voice. But in 1998, there was more than one supernatural creature named Frost. Jack Frost, musician and father, returned from beyond the grave to inhabit the body of a man made of ice and snow. What would happen if these two mythical titans broke the bonds of the 25-year-old movies that spawned them and met on the field of battle?
So one of those two heroes meet, and they have to fight for a while before they realize they're on the same side.
Yeah.
Then they team up.
Much like our story, you and me. Except
I won.
No, not that you didn't win. Yeah. Except this is actually a two-part diorama that we made for a Gallery 1988 show called 25 Years Later that celebrates the movies of 1998.
Yes. And we're thrilled about that.
Yeah.
To be part of a group show at Gallery 1988.
Yeah, and just to be clear, you and I are each working on separate halves of this diorama.
Yeah.
Because we could not decide which of the two 1998 movies to build.
I felt Jack Frost has a real family appeal.
It does.
And I wanted to felt the snowman.
Of course.
And experiment with some snow terrain techniques.
Yes. And my argument was that we should do a Blade diorama because he's cool.
Oh, yeah.
He's just super cool. So we were at each other's throats for a while.
Yes.
And, some things were said, things we can't take back.
No.
But then, upon repeated viewings of both movies...
So many viewings.
I found our hook.
Yeah, I'll admit it. You found a loophole.
Right. And that is that Blade's enemy in his movie is named Frost.
Yes.
And further, at the end of the movie, Blade travels to a very snowy climate to continue his battle.
So Blade versus Frost. It made sense then to do both movies.
It all works out. What I'm doing here is setting up Blade's alleyway diorama base. This is right after he's left the meatpacking plant where the bloodbath rave took place.
Oh, yeah, right.
He's slaughtered about 36 vampires, and he walks down this alley where there are papers dramatically blowing across the blacktop.
Yes.
They don't reveal what they are in the movie, so I made them Detroit newspapers from 1998 and some bloodbath rave flyers.
Seems appropriate.
Yeah.
Nice detail. And I'm working on probably the most iconic scene from Jack Frost.
It's in all the trailers.
The scene where Jack is riding the toboggan down the snowy hill during the snowball battle.
Yeah.
So yeah, another battle scene.
Right, and we chose battle scenes from each movie. So they should stand alone as battle scenes, but when we combine the two, it should read as a super battle or something.
Hopefully.
Right?
Yeah. And I should mention that even though you and I were battling, we did help each other with this project.
Yeah, there was a primary sculptor or builder on each diorama.
Right.
And a secondary who helped out. I think that works for us.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Even though we were out to destroy each other,
Yeah.
Much like Blade and Frost, when we team up, things kind of work out.
Yeah.
So I sculpted my character in clay. He's not a complete sculpture. He's more like an art doll.
Oh, right.
He's stuffed in the middle and posable to a degree.
Nice.
And I did that mostly for weight and durability since we had to ship these things to California.
And I sculpted my figure in wool. I needle felted him.
Of course.
Which works out great when you're trying to keep things lightweight.
I think you did a great job with his likeness.
Oh, thanks.
Michael Keaton would be proud. As I mentioned earlier, Blade is essentially an art doll.
Yeah.
Which means I had to sew a pair of pants, as well as the rest of his clothing.
I think the fabric we found for the leather pants and jacket looks great.
It looks like leather.
Yeah.
But it's not easy to work with.
No.
But overall, I thought it would make him look cool when it was all done. What doesn't make him look cool is this humiliating process of trying to get his pants on.
Yeah, that looks
This is
awful.
It's embarrassing. The shirt I made out of cotton. You're barely going to see the shirt under his armor and jacket, but, you know, this is a doll, really. Had to be done.
And while you were making the clothing for Blade, I was making the clothing for Frost. Mostly mittens and a scarf. You know, Jack Frost made over $34 million when it was released.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's in 1998 dollars.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's the conversion. What was the budget?
$85 million.
Well, I see why you picked this one. It's the underdog.
Yes.
You're rooting for the underdog. Yeah. That's very noble. I, being much more shallow, as you know, like backing a winner.
Yeah.
And Blade was probably the first big, successful Marvel superhero blockbuster.
Oh, yeah.
In 98, Blade made over $130 million on a $45 million budget.
It's really a fun movie.
It really is.
I say this after having to watch it at least 10 times this past couple weeks.
We watched it a lot, but I needed reference.
Yeah.
I'm working on his chest armor here. This is really a mixed media diorama, but Blade himself will be a well-dressed, accessorized, posable figure that I, unfortunately, will have to glue down to the base. And that's the tragedy of Blade.
Yeah.
He's got all this power, all of this posability, but he's trapped in a world that he didn't choose.
His only weaknesses are his bloodlust and superglue.
Facts. While I was working on Blade's chest armor, you were working on Frost's chest armor, more or less.
Yeah, Jack Frost has some snowman buttons embedded in his chest. One is a toy truck tire, one is a hockey puck,
Yeah.
and the other is the button for his old rock band.
So all things from Jack Frost's life.
Right. I really tried to be screen accurate with this, so there were a few little details like that I wanted to nail.
Yeah, you nailed him. This Gallery 1988 show, 25 years later, the movies of 1998, opened just this past weekend, and it runs for a while, and we're really happy to be a part of it.
Oh, yeah.
The gallery is moving spaces, by the way, so this particular show is by appointment and online, but I encourage everybody to go to the Gallery 1988 site, take a look at the art in the show, all of it. It's a great concept, and it was super fun to work on.
Oh, it was.
And I hope that when all is said and done, the visitors to the gallery, the public, the people will agree that in this battle, Blade would totally win.
No.
Totally.
No. Jack Frost is a shapeshifter. He can slide into trees and come apart and put himself back together.
Granted.
He's unstoppable.
Well, as Blade says,
Yeah.
always bet on black.
Blade doesn't say that.
He says it in another movie.
That's Passenger 57.
Yeah,
it's not even Blade.
It's not Blade, but he's essentially the same character. He's still super cool.
Okay, yes.
Let's see how all this turned out. Again, I don't know what all the papers blowing across the alley were in the movie. It really seemed like someone dropped a box of printer paper from a roof.
It did. But it works.
And I think your toboggan really
Oh,
works.
thanks.
That chain, nice finishing touch.
I'm happy with the snow texture, too.
It looks like snow. Here are the turnarounds for both dioramas.
They work as individual dioramas.
Yeah, well, that was the plan, that they could stand alone.
Right, but I think they work even better as a team.
Well, I mean, as I always say, teamwork makes the scheme work.
You do. You say that all the time.
I do say it all the time. You know what else I always say?
What?
Always bet on black.
Wrong movie.
It's not the wrong movie. It's a different movie, but it's said in the same spirit. Oh, okay, always bet on Blade. Always bet on Blade.
I win.
You don't,
yeah.
No, you don't
Frost
win.
wins. Yeah.
No.
Fine. It's a draw. Blade versus Frost ends in a draw.
That's fine. Congrats.
You too.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We would love it if you subscribe to the channel to see more illustration and inking and painting and sculpting. And if you want to see more dioramas, here's a link to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle diorama we just finished recently. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.